offer goodwill to all. And today's practice is an invitation to incline the mind towards compassion. So when we tend to be an empathic person, we take on the suffering of other people, whether it's at a workplace or just in the world right now. And the outcome of that is that we can either shut down or we go into distress mode. And so, one practice that science has shown is we can shift from empathy to compassion. And it's a simple practice of not just feeling other people's pain, but also allowing ourselves to move from that place of um, empathy to then um, checking in, taking a little bit of time to be with that suffering with empathy and see what can we do that can be authentic to us, that can take care of our needs and other people's needs. So this motivation or this intention to ease other people's suffering can move us from a place of empathic distress to um, compassion and action. And that can be really helpful. It helps us to feel more connected, more alive, rather than just numbing ourselves down. And so the practice of loving kindness, which I'm calling multiply goodness or offer goodwill to all, the practice can help us to then transform our empathic distress into a sense of connection and empathy and still move in the world with an open mind and heart. So I invite you to offer this practice with keeping in mind, maybe if you're just starting out with this practice, you could even offer it to yourself or to a loved one. It could be someone at work, your partner, your children. And if you'd like to experiment with then offering it to maybe a colleague or co-worker who might be suffering or feeling stressed. So just keeping in mind one person with whom you'd like to practice today. So let's take a moment to think of someone that we want to offer this to. Okay, I have my coworker, someone I'm working with. I'm going to keep that person in mind and invite you similarly to keep someone in mind. And as always, we begin by turning our attention inwards, lowering or closing the eyes. And if you like, placing one hand on your chest and or belly, and just starting by connecting with the warmth of your hand on your chest. Allowing yourself to breathe deeply, feeling the expansion in your chest and the release, the letting go as you exhale. So just taking a few moments to invite the mind to be here with the body, with your breath. Feeling the natural warmth of your hands on your body. And if it's helpful, even letting out a sighing sound as you exhale. Ah. And from this place of connection with your breath, with your body, bringing to mind this one person towards whom you'd like to extend goodwill. And silently repeating these phrases or any other phrases that feel most natural for you with regards to this person, or just simply repeating the phrases that I'm offering. So as you look at this person in your mind's eye, offering these loving kindness wishes, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you have the awareness to be free from suffering. May you live with ease. So, as we repeat these phrases, just allowing yourself to feel the resonance of loving kindness, really inclining the mind towards these qualities of compassion, of goodwill. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you have the awareness to be free from suffering. May you live with ease. So, just taking a few more moments, if there's anything else that's genuinely coming up for you as a loving kindness wish you'd like to offer, just offering that silently. And then taking a few moments to listen within. What is coming up for you? What are you noticing when you offer these loving kindness wishes? What's happening for you right now? And from this place of intention to live compassionately towards yourself, towards others, what is one small step you can take today to return to this place of compassion? Maybe it's an intention to offer goodwill before a meeting, before you step out of your house, before you open your computer, before an important meeting. So just setting an intention for the one step you can take to live in alignment with your intention. And when you feel ready, opening your eyes, and if you'd like to share what came up for you today in this practice, as we were sharing the practice of compassion, of offering goodwill to all, this is a very simple practice of building the habit of compassion, where we're inclining the mind towards compassion, and compassion helps to offset. It's an antidote to empathic distress. So when we feel overwhelmed with the suffering that we see, that we experience, um, rather than just shutting down to avoid feeling or feeling overwhelmed, sometimes we just don't have the bandwidth to deal with everything that's happening in our own lives and in the lives of other people. So the inclination would be to either react, to give something, make a donation, and just get over with it, or to just completely avoid thinking about it. And when we do that, we're shutting down a part of ourselves from this interconnected world that we live in. So one of the practices, and I even wrote an article about it today based on our last Sama Life Circle. If you'd like to go and read that, there are other insights in that. But the practice we did today of loving kindness, offering goodwill to all, is another way that we can move from a place of just shutting down or from a place of being overwhelmed to a way that we keep our hearts and minds open, and we're building the habit of staying open and compassionate. So if you have any questions or challenges with this practice, feel free to share in the comments right now, or I'll be sharing the recording and you can always join the conversation there. So I'll wait for couple more minutes if anyone wants to share their questions. And one thing I could talk about with this practice is that often we think of compassion as empathy with a motivation to do something to ease suffering. But the step that is missing in between, like we feel empathy and then we jump to fixing, and there is generally a step in between that is missed out. And that is of making space to feel the discomfort and stay in that discomfort of feeling other people's pain. And in that space is generally when we can move through this discomfort, is where we uncover our authentic way of showing up for that situation. And sometimes it can just be that we meet that person fully and we're just there for them, we're seeing them, we're being with them, rather than moving to fixing. So that space of discomfort is where transformation can happen. And just on an ongoing basis, I think some of the ways we can practice this multiplied goodwill or offer goodwill is just walking on the streets. You can send to strangers, may you be happy, may you live with ease, or depending on what we're seeing around us, we can authentically offer these wishes silently, of course. It might be a little awkward if you actually started saying, hey, may you be happy. Well, that might not be too bad. We should try that as an experiment. Maybe if we see people on the street and just strangers and offer that, I don't know. Maybe we can try it. But even silently offering that can actually incline our mind towards this place of seeing others and making it a habit of sending goodwill. So all of these are ways where we are strengthening this natural ability that we already have to live with compassion. And compassion is the way we experience and recognize our interconnectedness, our interbeing. So with that, I will end the daily Sama. I'm Dr. Shalini Bahl, and this is our daily Sama moment where we're meeting every day at noon to practice and play with one mindfulness skill to disrupt our default ways of showing up and instead return to our place of inner knowing, of clarity, of intention. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your practice.